Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to another Naturist Resort session. And especially for this occasion, I have been to the hairdresser.
Doesn't he look fancy?
So you know that we have high guests. But before we introduce our guests, we have a couple of housekeeping things that we would like to go through. This event is going to be recorded, but only the speakers are recorded. So don't worry about your cam being on or about the things you type in the chat. It will not be recorded. Your name will not be on tape. If you have any questions, you can always ask them in the chat. Throughout the whole session, you can just drop your questions in the chat and we will answer them at the end. We will have a Q&A of about 10-15 minutes and we will answer all your questions. Of course, it's important to mention that hate speech or indecent behavior is not tolerated. And even more important to mention is that we can do these kind of sessions because we have so much support on Patreon. So if you like what we do for Naturism, for Naturist Resorts, for Naturist Traveling, for Naturist Resort Sessions, check out our Patreon. That's patreon.com/nakedwanderings and support us. And of course, sorry, if you're watching this on YouTube, also very important, if you're watching the recording, hit the subscribe button because there's lots of cool stuff coming up on YouTube and you seriously don't want to miss it.
No, it's true. We have a lot of time to think about new things. So new things are coming your way when you subscribe on YouTube.
And of course, let's make this a fun online event.
Okay.
So we are very happy to introduce our guests for today. For us it's today, for them it's tonight. We're going to Thailand. Hello, Gregors and Dow.
Yeah, hello.
Hey,
Here it is tonight. Over there is your daytime. Here it's our early evening.
Early evening. What time is it now?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. This place misses you.
We miss Thailand as well. I was scrolling through our feed on Instagram looking for some pictures. Like, oh my God, yeah, that was great.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, we have good memories. We all have good memories from before.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So tell us something. What is Barefeet Naturist Resort?
Well, Barefoot Naturist Resort is the only naturist oasis in Bangkok, the capital of Thailand. And right now it serves as a clubhouse for Bangkok Thai naturists in Bangkok. But it used to be a stepping stone for international naturists coming to Thailand, acclimatizing here and then going to one of the great resorts around Thailand.
Yeah, around Thailand.
So, but just like we had a tsunami in 2005, we have a COVID here, and we will always refer to before and after. So there was a time before, but now we live in the after.
Yeah.
And we just can't keep talking about before. So let's live in the after.
How is the after?
You have to look forward.
Yeah. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, but tourism in general in Thailand, I think, and also naturism in Thailand was very much focused on international travelers. And now with Thailand has been very strict on COVID. Like the borders have been closed for almost a year, probably.
Yeah, almost a year. But right now we have a Thai customer, quite many. Yeah, they come and visit as a day visit.
Do you see growth in local?
Actually, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in that sense, it's been good because we have had we've had time to focus on our local Thai naturists, and it's interesting that our growth right now is domestic. It's local Thais who word of mouth hear about us, and then from some of our marketing of some of our events that recently have been a little bit more spectacular than in the past.
Yeah, and quite surprised that we got many new customers as well. Yeah.
Yeah. which is very, very nice. While we don't get any naturists from abroad, then we do get more and more Thai naturists. And then again, we are Naturist Association Thailand. So that should be the way it should be.
Absolutely.
But we were very busy serving the market, and we had a growth of almost 100% year on year for a number of years up until the COVID year. So, and you could say that was probably unhealthy. We were growing very, very fast on domestic grounds, not on international naturists, and that was very challenging. I mean, we saw people like you, and we saw a lot of Australians, some Brazilians, Mozambique. I mean, they came from all over the world, and that was cool. Now it's a very domestic thing, and that's also cool because we have learned to focus on giving the local people local events with good content and good experiences.
Is
Find
is there a
some,
huge difference?
Yeah, we try to find some interested activities. Yeah, like as I said, note drawing and note photographies. Yeah, and the people, they really like it.
I really don't understand why naturist associations and clubs around the world has not adopted this unique opportunity. It's just right there.
Yeah.
The alliance between the art world. Artists need models. We need entertainment.
The combination is perfect.
They spend a lot of money on one timid model standing in the middle of the room and not looking comfortable in her skin at all. And then they come here and we have 20 people milling around and say, paint me, paint me. And they put people together in a group that they would never have been able to afford that. And so they save a lot of money. They get people who act naturally, and we get to have some fun.
But that's
sometimes we carry, but this is something, it's very simple. You find an art environment, an art community where you are located, where your resort or whether your federation around the world, where you're located, find somebody in the art world and explain to them about how this alliance could work. And then make sure that you assign somebody to run the artist side. Because we should not run the artist side. We're the weird naked people.
The crazy naked people.
Yes. Yes, of course. In the first place, I think it's all about nature and birds, but then they realize that it's not.
But it's something we have been saying for quite a while, that naturism has so many overlap with other things like art, like ecological living, like body confidence. And still, a lot of organizations just keep focusing on this us against the world thing, while we should collaborate with others.
It's not
Definitely.
No.
So,
I think one of your sayings that still sticks in my mind is that there are as many kinds of naturism as there are
naturists.
Birth suits, no, what do you call them? Birthday suits. Birthday suits, right? There are as many different kinds of naturism as there are birthday suits. I like that very much. But on the other hand, I would usually say that there's a greater variety. I mean, the differences between naturists is smaller than the differences between people who call themselves Christians. Putting yourself under the label of Christian, there's a much larger variety. And most people, when they come to naturism, they have it's basically about the same thing. Enjoy being without clothes, and some add in a little bit of environmentalism, and some add in a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But and then of course there's these people who, the majority, who says it's not about sex. It's not about sex.
For people who don't know Barefeet, okay, yeah, you're located in Bangkok. How does it work? How does Naturism work in Bangkok?
Well, we have been taking so small steps that it's difficult to sort of grasp in an easy way how Thailand has embraced naturism. We started up so small in 2007 in July, and it was a year after we had been to Denmark, and Dao had tried to be nude in a naturist camp,
yeah, naturist
for
camp.
the first time.
Okay.
And she still says that I tricked her into it. But I, honest to God, I would never do that. And I advise everybody who thinks of doing that, don't do it.
No.
It's just not on.
So from my memory, I just thought that Gregor told me that we're going to
She's
make
gonna
a
pull my
camp,
pants now.
camp at the naturist camp. But for my imagine is naturist camp is like a camping site in the nature. So
Yeah.
I didn't know that is what is a naturist camp. I don't know. I didn't know at that time. So once we got in, I said, oh, so many naked people.
When did you realize?
When we got in, because then once we were in front of the gate, it just said that private property, right? So I didn't know what was inside. I thought that well, it's a garden or something. It's a camping site or something.
And when did you see the first naked person inside?
Yeah, I was also.
Or the group of the men's like 4 or 5 people stand in front of me, and then like I did this high, they are that high, and then I did this high, and then my eye is just like, oh my God, I don't know where to look.
Very confronting.
Yeah, so this is the first time.
Yeah,
But you felt comfortable opening a naturist resort 1 year later, so it must be a very good experience for you.
We didn't
Yeah.
open the resort until a few years later, but when we came back, Dao said, why don't you find some friends that are naturists in Thailand? And then, yeah, we can go up country, into the woods and what have you, find a stream or something.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, forget it, never would.
Yeah.
And now she has this saying that dream it and do it. So, okay, we ask a few lawyers, and then
There is no specific law that what we cannot do. It just
we cannot hurt other people, right? We cannot make other people upset about our nudity. So first of all, you have to be reported by somebody. If nobody sees you, nobody can report you. And then of course on private property, then you can wear what you like. You can put a sign outside the door saying that your house is an extended toilet. Everybody is in a bathroom. You can wear your birthday suit. And so we went ahead, and the first people who came to check up on us were the tax authorities, because we wanted to register in a way that we were playing by the rules of society. And I think this is a very, very good advice for other naturists in Asia. If you want to set up something, play by the rules of your society. Don't try to be underground and whatever. So you can set up a company. So we called the company Naturist Association Thailand.
Yeah.
Somebody knew what naturism was, so they came a busload of little girls from the local tax office, and they spent about 5 seconds asking whether we had registered for tax, and then they spent about an hour asking about what this was and how we were going to do this. And they were definitely one or two of them were very interested in that part of it.
Did you see them coming again later at any point?
No, actually, we never had any, and I think that is one of the reasons is that we are doing it that way. In back in Germany in the early days, when Naturism was also having trouble, they registered themselves as sports clubs.
Yeah.
And that's why even today, FKK Vereins go under the Ministry of Sports, and not in the Ministry of Tourism, for instance. So anyway, the first people that came and signed up were obviously mixed couples, and we had some good time there. And that was where Bruce Kendall, one of them, he was visiting Thailand very frequently because his wife was Thai, but he was working at that time in Saudi Arabia. But he was soon going to be retired, and at the same time, I met resistance from the last place on earth that you would imagine.
Yeah.
The old Danish women in the Danish community in Bangkok. They thought that this was just not on. and at that time, I was president of the Scandinavian Society, which is a club for Danes, Swedes, Norwegians, and Finns. And it simply split the society down the middle. There were half of them who demanded that I should resign because I could not do something that they were dead sure that it was legal. And I said, if it's illegal, why am I not arrested, and why are we not closed down? Well, you must know somebody. No, I don't know somebody. It's not a corruption thing. And eventually, during that period, that was where Bruce Kendall came in, took over the wheel, and I moved to the back seat. And so Dow and I enjoyed a backseat ride for 5 years, until Bruce kindly knocked the frame and said, "Excuse me, would you come up here and take over the wheel again?"
I will go for a nap.
We'll go for a nap, yes. Yeah. But that was phenomenal years. That was where we opened the first naturist resort in Thailand. Yeah. That was a Chan resort in Pattaya. And shortly after came another one that I know you guys love, the one up in Chiang Mai, the one that Paolo had.
Yeah.
The Oriental Village. Beautiful place, now closed down. Then Dow and I, by that time, we were now up in the 2014, and we started building Barefeet. And on the 1st of January, we opened.
Yeah.
Our first guests were Dow's parents.
Yes. They came for like a guest and honors. Yeah, to stay.
It's very auspicious to have old people come and inaugurate your place. And they're very tolerant to me being naked. It's Dow is less naked when they are around.
Because of the past cultural
thing? Yeah.
But then again, when you say that, I really have to ram a big pole through that. Asia is culturally against naturism. It is so not true. There are tons of naturists in Asia. And when I'm saying Asia, I'm saying Bangladesh, I'm saying Iran, Pakistan, all over the place, Indonesia, Malaysia, places where people would not think, oh, but they are Islamic. Yes, but then they are Islamic naturists.
Yeah.
Just like you can be a Christian naturist, and you can be vegan naturist, and you can be all kinds of naturists, like birthday suits, right? So in this particular case, the Thais are quite open to all kinds of sexual variety. They have always been very open to to that, and maybe that has helped. That, oh, okay, well, they do what they do. They probably think that there's some sexual activity involved somewhere. The majority does, but when they experience it, then of course they learn that it's unfortunately not like that.
But that is also quite an Asian thing, though. Like, I do my thing, you do your thing, and we don't interrupt each other.
Yes, and that is one of the things we repeat again and again when we're in the media out here. We go out of our way not to bother you.
Yeah.
We put these huge fences around our property to make sure that we don't bother you. It's not that we don't want you to look in. You can look in as much as you like. No, it's out of courtesy to you. We don't walk naked down Main Street, not because we don't want to walk naked down Main Street, but out of courtesy to you. So we are considerate. And I think that's also part of why, okay, we are good guys. We're not provoking anybody. We're not shoving our nipples into anybody's face. Right?
Just a little, just a little.
Definitely true.
Just a little. Yeah. But I think it's yes, the Thai society has been open and easy to penetrate, and to, after so many years here now, nobody's really questioning whether we should be here or not be here. We're tolerated, and whenever there's a new resort coming up, we don't even need to go and talk to the police anymore. The police already knows.
Yeah.
This is, of course, different in other countries. One country that could have had it would Taiwan. They should have had a more declared and open naturist environment. They have about all the way around the island, they have local naturist clubs, but they never got together and sort of made a genuine community out of it. Gave themselves, branded themselves a naturist and stuff like that. So I think, but this is not too late. They just need somebody to take the torch and say, let's get together and make sure that people know what we are and what we are not. And they had a very vocal leader who died some years ago. They have published a book about him, but there's been nobody taking the torch later than that, and after that. In Malaysia, they had one who was a torchbearer, but then the majority of the naturists down there, they wanted to be in the rabbit hole, so they fired her, and everybody ran into the rabbit hole. Yeah. It's kind of sad. I'm trying to talk to the people who are now running what's left of that organization, to say, well, if you want to be in the rabbit hole, well, then give the torch to the one who wants to be visible, and then live together, just like the Naturist Action Group in England, where they have the Naturist Action Group as the provocateur, and you have the British Naturists as the conservative. They could easily have sort of a symbiosis like that. And I think in a few years, you'll see that Naturism worldwide, it will be less white. It'll probably be less male. Maybe a little bit less straight too. There might be more gays and lesbians and what have you, but definitely it's going to be less white.
Well, it's a good sign, because we have been looking for diversity in naturism for so long, and it's always the old white guy.
Yeah.
And we also we also see this change in other parts of the world. For example, in South America, where naturism is also still pretty young. that it works. The dynamics are completely different. It's much more female dominant.
Yeah.
And it's lots of young people.
Because they don't have the history. You just start in this century with a white piece of paper. And that's the disadvantage that we have in Europe, is that the history is so old and also old-fashioned, and there is no younger movement or less younger movement than when you just start in a country where naturism is not known. Yeah, you have nothing to work with, and on one side it's harder, but on the other side you can be so creative and you can just go and do your own thing and make it more mainstream. And that, yeah, we really see that in countries like South America, for example, or in Asia.
I so agree with you, Lynn. This is probably, it's a blessing and a boon for Europe that they were the cradle of naturism.
Yeah.
Because you look at them as these octogenarians that run around naked in all their wrinkles, but we don't have that.
And also,
I'm one of the oldest members out here.
Yeah. But you don't have that negativity around the name as well. In Europe, when you say naturist, yeah, it's indeed the old hippie guys who are sitting around their campsite. And I don't judge them; they're great. We have great conversations with them. But in Thailand, there is no negativity around the word naturist. Around the word naturist, because it's newer.
Yeah, that's true. There's no stigma on that word. And it's a great chance for us to get to help define naturism in Asia.
Yeah.
And Bruce and I, we're completely on the same line there. It's family naturism, and we prefer that everybody are nude, but we're not terribly strict on it. We are very strict on get out of your street clothes, and if you get into the pool, you don't wear anything. But otherwise, if one in the couple is a naturist and the other one is comfortable wearing a towel or sarong, I think that's what you're wearing, right?
No.
Taiwan.
It's a Taiwan I'm wearing.
Okay.
Bruce gave it to me a couple of years ago. I still have it.
So that's the pakama.
Yeah.
Yes. That is originally that was a piece of cloth that you covered your horse with.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very comfortable.
They're great. They're really great and very easy to slip in and out of.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, but you're right. If one of the two feels more comfortable wearing something from walking from A to B, why not?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just let people.
And we have so many newcomers who they come here with they're so curious. Is this naturism? Is that naturism? Is it this? I mean, they look to us for some explanation. And the number of times that Dao has been explaining Dao's version of naturism to new members here. I mean, tons of new members who. It's just amazing how many new people that we have initiated into naturism over the years in Thailand. It's not only at Barefoot, long before that. I mean, when it really took off after Chan Resort. When we had the first resort, there were tons of people, and there were people that we really had to educate and explain to them that this won't go. I mean, if you go anywhere else in the world with this idea of naturism, you'll be kicked out, and we will just have to explain to you that it doesn't work this way. There are other places for you.
And in any other resort, probably. That's the thing.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Oh,
Like
oh
people,
yes. Oh
yeah,
yes.
people ask us like, yeah, you're a naturist resort. Can we have sex at the pool? Then I'm asking, can you have sex at the Hilton's pool? No, you
Yes.
can't.
Yes.
It's the same
Yeah.
thing. It's the same thing. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Well, that is true.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting because mostly they take what we tell them, our explanation about what it is, they listen intensely, and because they are into being nude, they
Yeah.
have experienced the pleasure of being nude, and they just want to understand it better, and where goes the boundaries, and what do you do about the erection, and I mean all these classic questions. I don't think we've had a male here who hasn't asked, now what do I do about my erection? And now she goes, can I see it?
Yeah, so many have that question, but I just explained to them. Yeah.
No, she
But it's
doesn't.
good. The thing is, it's good that people are having questions and that they ask you instead of just thinking something in their mind or creating
Yes,
an image in
yeah.
their mind and just going with the
Yes.
flow. So I prefer that they ask the questions.
Definitely.
Yeah. When
Yeah.
before they coming, they will call and ask that, what about this? What about that? If I have this issue or something, and I just explain to them first, and then like somebody, if they have like a silly question or more curious question and thing, I said, you come when you're ready.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what I said.
Yeah. And also because there are some people who enjoy asking intimate questions. Can I bring my mother?
Can I bring my stepdaughters?
If my mother and my stepdaughter, if we sleep in the same room, is that okay?
Yeah.
I'm sure that he gets a kick out of asking the question.
Yeah.
And then again, it's harmless as long as they only do it by phone.
Yeah. I was just gonna say. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same thing when people ask me like, Linz, you're a woman, don't you get bored of bothered that men are looking at you if they look, and how do you feel about that? And I'm like, honestly, I don't care, as long as they don't harass me, and as
You
long
come to the
as
point. Yeah, you come to the point where you don't care.
yeah, I don't care anymore, as long as I can do whatever I want and you are not bothering me, and I don't have issues with it, I don't care. I really don't care.
Yeah.
We started talking about how you see the future of naturism a little bit. That you said that you think it's going to be more diverse. Something that's also happening is that there are more and more loud voices for naturism. We include ourselves, but also people like Hector Martinez, like Donna from British Naturism, Linda from Manor. And it
Blonde Giraffe, Claudia.
Yeah,
you can go on.
And it doesn't always seem to work together. And a good example is, for example, the new Naturist symbol. We've seen a lot of big fights online, but it created haters and lovers. So what that should bring naturism to a higher level is actually creating diversity.
Again.
Yeah. But you need what you really need to separate here. And I think a lot of the people who discuss it, they need to make sure that they understand a logo is a registered trademark, and you fight tooth and nail that nobody violates your trademark, because your trademark it's a guarantee for something. It's a guarantee for the quality that you are, whatever. And the other one is a symbol. It's a symbol like the anti-nuclear. It's a symbol like the rainbow flag. It's a symbol that you can take it and you can do with it what you want, because it's just a symbol. In Thailand right now, we have a Hunger Games. The 3-finger salute it has become a political symbol. In Myanmar, they have taken it over. So we have to make sure that symbols is something that people adopt, and if people understand it and take the signal that it sends, then that's the intention of it.
Mhm.
I saw the interview that Hector Martinez did with Jock C from Team Naturist,
Mhm.
and it was basically, we want to give people something that doesn't shout, "I like to go naked," but to another naturist. And I'm thinking of Naturist Association Thailand.
Mhm.
We have a fantastic in Thailand. They have a fantastic jewelry industry,
Mhm.
and I can see a whole series of cufflinks, um, necktie, whatever. I mean, you can name it. There's a lot of things you can do with that symbol.
Mhm.
I wouldn't mind going anywhere with a set of cufflinks that has that little symbol there.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's opportunity.
On the other hand, we have gone to a great length of registering and trademark registering and patent it and whatever, our little jumping man signal,
Ah, yeah.
our logo,
Yeah.
our logo of the little jumping man is 100% protected.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And anybody
Oh.
dare to go and abuse that, and we'll slam you.
We'll hunt you down once you can leave
Yes.
the country again.
But yeah, but that's two different things. So I have no problem that if there is a recognition value in the new symbol, that I can signal that I'm a naturist, and another naturist will pick that signal up. Oh,
Yeah.
there's a fellow naturist.
Mm.
Then we can blink to each other. Yeah, exactly. So I think it has a value on that, in that respect. And of course, I'm going to discuss it on the board of the INF if there's any way that we can use it,
Mhm.
or. But I think I know what the answer will be. I think also the ANR says, well, it's fine that it exists, but it doesn't need the endorsement
Yeah.
of the established
Mm.
organizations.
But the main thing that surprised me within the whole discussion was the way that people were talking to each other. And I was like, hey, I thought naturism was about respect. And sometimes I was reading comments and I was like, wow, yeah, yeah.
Aggressive?
A lot of emotions were going on inside of my body when I was reading
Wow.
some of the comments. Yeah.
Something so harmless.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, something
Yeah.
like a symbol that we should embrace. And okay,
Yeah.
it's good that people have different opinions. That's really good.
Yeah.
But let's embrace it.
It's so simple. Just like the atomic, the nuclear, anti-nuclear symbol.
Mm,
This thing, this circle, and
mm,
then
yeah,
Oh.
and anybody can draw this
yeah,
symbol.
yeah,
Yeah, you could. Oh, here's the sun, and here are the rays, and
and done. Yeah.
if I crook it to the wrong side or whatever, I don't think that Silly Bear, who designed it, will mind it much.
No, no, don't think so.
But other than the symbol, all these voices that all have their own following and viewers and are talking about naturism, will they eventually become a wall of noise, or do you think it's gonna pull naturism to something bigger, something higher?
It's more about what I hope than what because it is. I would love to see the diversity of naturists be able to join under this one symbol, since apparently the organizations cannot find a way to join and work together in a constructive way. Well, if people could and event organizers could. And it would be, I mean, we really have to pull ourselves together. We're piss poor in having a clear profile in the world, in everybody's minds about naturism. We're really poor in organizing and coming out as a unity. And we don't need to be unity, but we need to be visible and have an opinion about things, when instead of hiding in our own little rabbit holes. We have a problem. Naturism has a problem. We have nothing to sell. I mean, take your website. On your website,
I think
you
we
put
have
up
to sell. We have value.
let's say you put up a sign saying, sign up now for our master class in naturism. And then after we have paid our $99, then Lynch will come on and say, hello, everybody. And Nick will say, take off your clothes. That's it. The certificate will be in the mail. We've got nothing to sell. Compare that to in the other corner. I mean, we're sitting in this corner by and say, just take off your clothes. In the other corner, they say, put on this bra. And you will feel good about yourself, because you don't feel good about yourself. No, you don't. You don't feel good about yourself. Not until you put on my cream and my sexy bra.
I don't agree with you. I don't agree. I think we have a lot to sell. We have a lot to sell. Yeah. And it's value. It's not something that you can take with you. We can't sell that. But we can sell a lot of value. I truly believe that. And I think that's what we've been doing for the last 4 years as well.
But can you compete with the profit that the bra maker does?
No,
the bra manufacturer.
No. Yeah.
He's getting away with creating breast cancer. Just like the tobacco industry. They're getting away with creating lung cancer. But they make so much profit that, well, they're not being opposed, and they thrive on everybody not being quite happy with themselves. So a little bit liposuction here, a little bit running,
we can sell on healthy part, like
Yeah, but you don't make enough profit to counter their marketing moves. They have tons of dollars.
Yeah, when we would make profit of it, a lot of other businesses would lose a profit. Like, for example, the clothing industry, like you say, the liposuction industry, the makeup industry. The whole fashion industry. So that's why I don't think naturism will ever be on the TV and on the news as something like, hey, you have to do it. But also, on the other hand, do we want to? Do we want it to be that big mainstream?
We also have another issue. We are priced higher. Barefeet Naturist Resort is priced higher than regular textile resorts. In the same category.
In the same area.
Of course, there are people saying, oh, you're in it for the profit. So all of a sudden, it becomes, it's like, well, nobody pays us to be an NGO. And we don't get subsidy from the state or anywhere. So yes, we're catering to a small niche. We need to be a little bit more expensive, so that, because we cannot just lower the price and then price optimize and profit optimize on the price. We need to stay true to our target group, and that means having less occupancy than if we were price optimizing or profit optimizing in the general market. Sometimes it's a little bit sad to be accused of profiteering on naturism. you're just making money, huh?
Mm. Oh.
Naked, so that's not so bad.
Mhm.
But people like the owners of Peace Blue,
Mhm.
the number of times they have been accused of, oh, you're just in it for the money. And I have to explain to them, I'm not making a contract with the owners of Peace Blue to be naturist. I'm
Mhm.
making a contract with Peace Blue to offer their premises for
Mhm.
naturists.
Mhm.
It's two different things.
But you know why why your prices are higher, and that Nuno told me that, and he always said it's because I'm selling happiness at his.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose the other ones are too, but it's
Less.
very basic commercial actually. It's if you want to be in a niche and you want to be true to that niche, you have excluded yourself for profit optimization.
Mhm. And people will complain anyway.
Yeah.
Either they complain because there are no places, and if there are places, they complain that the places are too expensive. And in a way,
Yes.
I get the idea that it's a bit weird for us to pay more just for the privilege of being able to be naked. But
Yeah.
that's how it works.
But we're in the lucky side of this. We have something to sell.
Mhm.
We have a room. We have an environment.
Mhm.
So you can come here and you can be a member of the club. We have something to sell. It's much more difficult than having. Yes, now you can sell a symbol that you can put on a hat.
Mhm.
But there's a paradox between selling T-shirts with the naturist symbol on it.
Mhm.
Like, you want to be a naturist or you want to wear the symbol.
If you have to wear clothes like Park is cold right now. He just said that in the chat. And also, I wanted to ask you something.
Where are you right now? Why are you not dressed up like you are usually in the interviews?
Now?
Yes.
It's daytime.
It's daytime.
And
it's warm.
yeah, it's warm. It's super warm.
And you are which country are you in?
Spain.
You're in Spain now.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's still winter here in Spain, so
Just a good
right.
yeah. So during the day it's fine. Now we have 20 degrees and the sun is shining, but in the evenings it gets really cold. So you're lucky.
Well, of course it's nice here. We have 365 days of great naturist weather in Thailand, so we shouldn't complain. We actually had some very cool weather. We've been down to something like 20 Celsius.
Oh, really? Oh,
Ooh,
yes.
Cold.
For Thailand. I have a question. Because Park was sending something in the chat. Park is in Japan and he is organizing tours or naturist tours. So maybe you have some tips for him or something. I don't know, Park, if that is a question for you or not, but I am interested as well. So that's why I'm asking it.
Which tips do you have for naturist places?
Some of the resorts out here have actually, I mean, they have tried to organize round trips. But you know, the whole travel industry is a little bit in crisis because of this. You can actually book everything yourself. If you know how to get on the internet, you don't really need us in between.
Mm-hmm.
It's a convenience that you could book one place and then you would be taken around to 3 resorts. It's a convenience, but when it comes with a price tag, then any Indian with a respect for himself would be able to do that online.
Mm-hmm.
Book the 3 places and figure out how to get from A to B to C.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that makes it very difficult to make that kind of tours. What we would love to see is if there was somebody who would promote naturist tours from Taiwan, for take
Japan.
one, or Japan, or Shanghai, something like that. If they said, well, why don't we make a tour, and they would talk to us, and we could help them organize it, and that would be cool.
Yeah.
But we would never be able to make a business out of it, but we would be able to help our commercial members, the resort,
But you
and that would be cool. That would, of course, be cool.
I don't think that the idea is to have tours from Japan to Thailand, but mostly local tours. And that's something the Federation does as well. You have the boat tour to the island, for example, a day trip.
Yes. On Sunday, coming Sunday, we're going out on a fishing trip.
Really?
Yeah.
So you can still do that now? Yeah.
With the fishing boat that we have rented, and they bring the fishing rods, they bring the little chopped up pieces of squid, and then they even if especially for the girls, they put the squid on the hook.
Like
so what you have to do is
that, Gregors,
you
like
have to,
we come to that.
Yes. We throw it out, and then we see when it's there, and then we wheel it in.
Yeah.
And we're having a good time. And then after we have caught about a bucket, then we give it to the chef, and a little bit later we will get it back fried on the table together with vegetables and what have you.
Nice. And
so that's one of the things we do, and has been successful in doing.
Okay.
We have a number of events that we have started doing now that we have to focus on activities. And of course, nude yoga is a well-known thing all over the world.
In Thailand, it's illegal.
And we had it the other day, something that we did for the first time. It was an art photographer. She's been doing nude art photography for a number of years in Germany, and now she's back in Thailand. We brought her in to talk about her art, and then there was another nude art photographer who joined in, and suddenly we had two artists, and they were discussing nude photography. And before we knew of it, we had 20 people here, and they all went crazy to be Spencer Tunick in a mini version.
Nice.
We had to be 20 people in the pool. We had to be as many people we could cram up the spiral stairs.
Oh, yeah.
And in the garden, and all of a sudden, I never seen so much enthusiasm from our members in being in front of a camera.
Yeah.
But the two art photographers were very good in saying, well, look the other way, bend your head over, or take your hair down, or whatever. And so
you should give
it
Spencer
went really well. And we have things like that.
Nice.
I wonder why we are not doing things like why don't we teach you how to check yourself for testicular cancer?
We can make that.
Has anybody I mean, we're comfortable with being nude. Well, so we're comfortable with somebody showing you how to swoosh and squeeze and see if there's any lumps where they shouldn't be. And breast cancer, for that matter, as well. You could do it yourself, or you can have your partner help you, which would be kind of fun. It would be, you could take, you could have Skin Cancer Day once a year. You take photos of everybody, and next year you see if there are any marks that have grown or anything that has. So there are tons of nude gardening day is one of the ideas that we want to buy a ton of seed, and then we will give it to people outside the department store and say, you promise that you will sow this in the nude.
Oh.
If you don't, you don't get it. You promise? Okay, we'll check up on you. Well, take it.
And it costs
Send
nothing.
us your nude pictures.
And there would be something to talk about. It would be,
No,
it
it's
will
true.
be normalizing naturism.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely agree.
Yeah.
I personally think that
Someone's-
there's a lot of future in those events, just events out of the resort. There's so many opportunities. We see the same thing in Europe with the naked museum visits. They attract more people, they attract younger people. And there's so
Yeah.
many options.
Mhm.
Australia, Get Naked Australia rents out Airbnbs and has naked parties everywhere in the country.
Mhm.
Mm.
Nick, before time runs out, and unfortunately I think we could talk for another hour, but I have not followed these comments. Are there any comments, any
Yeah.
questions that we should?
Somebody
Yeah.
asking about, is it legal in Thailand to make a naturist resort or naked in Thailand? We
Mm.
can answer.
Mhm.
Bruce and
Well, are you doing something illegal now?
No, actually not. I naked inside the property.
but it was
Yeah, I
about the
didn't
fishing
make
trip.
it on the road.
Mhm.
It was like I think it was about the fishing trip. If it's particularly
Or about a fishing trip, yeah.
because
Oh,
Uh,
as long as the fish don't file a complaint with the police.
no, just we just going out quite far from the public area. We not go close to the island or to the other boat. So it's like a quite like a yeah.
Hmm.
Far away from the other one, so it is fine. Even some boat that like passed by, they saw us, I didn't see they do anything. They just waving and think we just wave back, and that's all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Other than that,
This is-
it's mostly compliments about how nice people you are, how great your breakfast is,
How
How
beautiful
blue-
the pool
how blue the
looks.
pool is. It's, if somebody still has a question, now is the time.
This is not a virtual background.
No, indeed, it's real.
Yeah.
Is there something,
Well,
Tigers and Dow,
it's sad that we have lost great places in Thailand.
Yeah.
We are very grateful that we are still here, but we have one more that we didn't have before.
Mhm.
Just last weekend,
Yeah.
there was a soft opening
Yeah.
of a totally new resort, the Dragonfly Naturist Village, which will be a great competition to Barefeet.
It looks promising,
Yeah, looks
I have
great.
to say.
It does. It is.
Park still asks how you promote your business.
Well, we use Facebook, and we use our own community,
Yeah.
Thailand Naturist, the website. We do use Twitter a little bit, and then in Thailand, the social media called Line is very popular. So we have Line groups, but to get into the Line group, you sort of have to find us first.
And
So
we have to get to know each other and feel that we are safe, and we just invite to be a member.
But we've been more and more bold on Facebook, posting our events publicly.
Okay.
We also say that you have to be a member to join.
Mm-hmm.
But we explain that we are doing this naked. It's a
Mhm.
naked yoga.
Mm.
It's a naked boat fishing boat trip.
Yeah.
And but we do say that it's for members.
Yeah.
And Tintin asks if your family members are naturists as well.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
And then it's about time. Is there any last thing you want to tell us, Tom? Guerrilla marketing.
Yeah. Well, I would say that organize. I think we are fractured, and in every country there are some people who are good in promoting naturism, but if we don't organize better, if we don't band together better and brand ourselves better, then it'll take well, it'll take longer than if we don't. Eventually, I think the world is moving in that direction towards more and more openly and liberalism and what have you. But I think we could help ourselves a lot more. Get ANR and INF united again.
Mhm.
Make the fundamentalists realize that the diversity, we are stronger in our diversity, in our exclusivity, and things like that. And I really, really would like to see Naturists worldwide band together, organize, get our acts together.
Your voice is a lot louder when you yell all together than you're yelling just by yourself. It's true.
Those are great words to finish the show with. Before we say goodbye, there are a couple of things we would still like to mention.
Sorry, again, I was not prepared. Sorry.
They're coming up right now.
Yeah.
We have a next session planned. You cannot subscribe yet, but it will be happening within the next days. We're going to France to Naturist Campground Le Coudec on March 4th. Online, of course. And of course, we would like to mention again that we can do these sessions thanks to the support we get on Patreon. If you want to support us as well, check it out, patreon.com/nakedwanderings. And if you're watching the replay of this session on YouTube, hit the subscribe button because we have great other things coming up. Greg Zendau, thank you so much for being our guests tonight.
Thank
you so
Thank
much.
Everybody who was in the Zoom, thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your evening day.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Talk to you later.
Have a good day.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah. Bye.